I have this leftover trim also, and I think parts of the Astoria Transfer look really good with that, with a creamy colored base, and I have some metallic paint that's this color. May make it super fancy. So same thing again, I'm going to use this cording because it's about the same color. Just make a knot in it. If this is the first tin can pocket posy that you are watching and you haven't watched number 1, number 2, or the prep for the can, might be a good idea to go back and watch the can prep. There are 2 versions, a long one and a short. So if you just like the quick nuts and bolts big picture, you can watch the 2-minute one. If you want more info, there's a longer one. So what I'm doing now is kind of undoing a little bit of the fringe because I want to double check that this paint that I have is indeed going to be a good color, and I think it is. It is a metallic. The brand name is Viva Decor Inca Gold Metal Gloss Paint in Platinum. And I purchased it on Amazon back when I was doing some Christmas ornaments. And it does go a long way. It's a very thick, almost paste-like product. I will leave the link to it in the description box below. But it really goes on beautifully. You just have to work with it a little bit to spread it out. And I think it's, well, in the end, I think it turned out really gorgeous and matched the tassel very well. The next step is to do a sealer coat. Because I am going to be applying a transfer, you need to have a sealer underneath it. These metal type paints dry pretty quickly, so I didn't have to wait too long. And normally I use a matte finish, but because this is a metal paint, I decided to use a satin. It is also Dixie Belle's Satin Sealer. To fill this pocket posy number 3, I decided to use Real Touch tulips, and I understand why the company gave them that name, because when you touch them, they do feel real to the touch. I always do odd numbers, so you can see there that there are 5, and then there's 3 little or 5 little brown twiggy things. The hanger, I decided to use something a little different. It is moss coated, and it has some little strings that hang down from the top that I thought would kind of set off the coloring of this tin can. And it was kind of a heavy wire, so you can see here that I'm doing the little twisty thing again on the sides, just using the end of a paintbrush and wrapping that wire around. Although this tin can pocket posy is quite beautiful, I wanted to add kind of a little surprise, and using the, I believe it's the Monarch butterfly mold, Iron Rocket Designs, I'm going to use that dragonfly to create kind of a, I don't know what to call it, a pick maybe. So what I'm doing first, I had some of this metal trim. I'm cutting off the edge of it because I needed something kind of stiff that I could bend in a U shape and attach part of the U to that stick, and then glue the dragonfly to the other part of the U shape in the metal. And well, it's not really glue. I'll show you how I'm going to do that here in just a second. So basically I'm just bending that little piece of wire and hot gluing, and then attaching it additionally to the skewer with some string and hot gluing that just to make sure it's not going to go anywhere. For this casting, I decided to use 2-part resin. This is amazing casting, amazing resin. I get it at Hobby Lobby. Basically, you just pour equal parts of part A and part B in 2 separate cups. Then you pour them together and you stir. And in about 30 seconds, it should be clear, and you'll feel the bottom of the cup getting hot. And at that point, you want to pour into your mold. Now, typically, I always end up mixing a little more than is needed, and that way I can pour some additional things there just to have on hand. Now I'm using that skewer with the little metal U shape, and I'm gently setting it in the body of the dragonfly. And this is the part like waiting to watch water boil. You have to just hold it until it starts to harden. When it's done, you can just pop it right out. And my little experiment worked. Now, to decorate this dragonfly, I want it to look kind of obscure, so I'm going to use Pintart's Moss Effect paste. You might have seen me use that in Pocket Posy number 1 to add a little mossy texture to the mold that I had, the casting rather, that I had on the bottom of that tin can. And I had also mixed a little bit lighter color of the Moss Effect paste just by adding some acrylic paint and a little bit of the paste and mixing it up. So I have the 2 colors there. This is cool stuff. Now, so many people have seen it and asked me, okay, where do I get this? Because I had to order it from an international company, and you know, that is kind of costly to do, except I was ordering several other things too, so that's how I justified it. But someone told me in a Facebook post that, I'm trying to remember, maybe it's Deco Art maybe, has a Moss Effect paste. I do not know if it acts the same way as this, in that when you dry it with a heat gun, it starts to puff up and looks like moss. I'm going to try to zoom in here in a minute and let you see. Hopefully you can see. But once you hold it to certain spots there as it dries, it does literally puff up. Once dry, then I use a little bit of watered down, lighter colored acrylic paint and just here and there brush it on and tap it in with my finger just to make it look a little bit more like real moss, because real moss has those multi-colorings in them. You'll see at the end that after I put it in the pocket posy, I additionally add some metallic green, the Deco Art metallic green, onto the dragonfly, and I think it just really helped it to pop. And pocket posy number 3, Astoria, is complete. I hope you enjoyed the video. And as always, in the description box below the video, I will link products that I used and a link to my Etsy store if you enjoy or want to purchase any of my crafts.